What is up, YouTube? It's your boy G11 back at it again with another episode of the Homie Talk podcast. I thank you all for being here, or if you're restreaming it later, I appreciate you. Today, I have something pretty interesting that I wanted to talk about, at least interesting to me, right? It got me thinking about the idea of what people are willing to do for clout, like how far people are willing to go or how far people are willing to go for the dollar, right? I titled this podcast "Greedy" because I think that's exactly what we're dealing with here, right? If you are living under a rock, I am talking about a fellow YouTuber named Trevor Jacob. Now he is a pilot slash skydiver. I think he has over 100,000 subs over on his channel, and most of his videos, I believe, consist of him like flying his planes just to and from different stuff. I'm not really too keen on it. But recently, what went on with him is he was under investigation for a few years, and it finally came out in the wash that he crashed his plane on purpose during one of his videos. He crashed his plane, and he's facing some federal charges, or it's a plea deal, some type of stuff, right? Hey, what's going on, Tay? You're absolutely right. Attention is an addictive drug. It's a hell of a drug, isn't it? It's the clout, it's the money that comes with it. And like I said, it really made me wonder like how far people are willing to go. Because we're all trying to be successful. We're all trying to get the bag. We're all trying to do, to do better in life, right? But how far is too far is what I'm getting at. So I got the actual video itself of when he did the skydive. I want to check it out, see if we can point anything out that looks a little weird. And then I got the article on it too. So thanks for tuning in, Tay. And of course, if anyone tunes in, just drop a little comment, let me know you're here, and we'll proceed. All right, so this is the homie's video straight from his channel. I crashed my airplane. That's literally the video. Down Dewey, hang on. You guys aren't hearing any sound. I'm not hearing any sound either. Hold up. Technical difficulties. I want to see why we're not getting any sound on this thing. Bump, 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 bump. Oh, that's why. All right. Technical difficulties. For whatever reason, my default like speaker changed to the damn monitor. I don't know why it does that. All right, here we go. We might be struggle streaming a little bit too. I'm on the Wi-Fi, so forgive me if it's laggy.
All right, we just climbed through 2,000 feet. Beautiful morning. On our way to Mammoth. Beautiful, beautiful day. Got Johnny with me.
And you'll notice right away, like he's got cameras all over the airplane. I'm pretty sure he has a GoPro stick in there. And in his hand, I believe, are the ashes of a good friend of his that passed away in 2015. So he takes him with him when he goes up in the plane.
That's Johnny. We're about 20 minutes into the flight. The ocean off that way. Beautiful day. Good time.
Right away, it looks like his prop is stopping, like his propeller or the engine shut off or something like that. So now his plane is in like a free fall glide type situation. But remember, this guy is an experienced pilot. So I wonder how he's going to try to recover this situation. Very interesting.
I'm over the mountains and I get out of vision out. Oh, oh. Holy dude. Holy. Oh shit.
So I'm gonna just say this. This seems a little bit weird to me right off the bat because like it was like immediately as soon as the plane had issues, like his first thing, like right off the bat, was to just get out the joint. Granted, I'm not a pilot, so I don't know what the protocol is, but I would think the idea is to try to recover the engine or try to start it back up so that you could, save the plane. But he's already like immediately opening his door, looking like he's ready to jump. And then one other thing I noticed right away is that he's wearing a skydiving suit. He's wearing a skydiving suit already. So it almost seemed like this was prepared. Which if this was like a controlled thing, I get it. Tests people do tests with airplanes and stuff all the time. But he's acting like this was a real like thing in this video. So I'm gonna get back to it. Man's just abandoned ship. All right, here's my other issue with this. With this video, right? My other issue is that this man jumped out of the plane. He jumped out of the plane and he's got the GoPro ready. Who like if this is a true emergency, I'm sorry, like why would you who just has the GoPro ready to capture the moment you're jumping out the plane and you're in a panic mode? Again, this seems really set up, really shicey. You know what I mean? Let's continue a little bit more. I'm not going to watch all 12 minutes, but I'm going to play a little bit more of it. So now he's out the plane, he's skydiving. His plane is basically in a free fall because she's not steering it. Oh, wait a minute, it looked like the propeller was actually going again. He's trying to act like it's just this thing. Okay. So now he's watching this plane. The plane's getting ready to crash. The prop is moving now. Interesting. I was going right into the side of the mountain there. He got all the angles of it. Yeah. So that's the video. I think this video got over like 3 million views or something like that. Probably helped propel him into like where he's at now. But what was also interesting about this were the comments that people put on it. So you have pilots that are talking about this, right? Check this out. This is the other thing. This guy James Willie says, "I train pilots for emergency situations such as this. The main rule in any emergency, I cannot stress this enough. Never ever forget your selfie stick." Right. That was the weird thing about me. Let's see. 9 months ago. So these are older comments, but still relevant. For anyone wondering why the FAA yanked his license, 1, attach multiple cameras to the craft, not illegal, but sus. 2, wearing a sports parachute. They're uncomfortable as hell and never wore any chute other than the flight. 3, opened the side door before claiming any engine failure, right? Made no attempt to communicate on emergency frequency, made no attempt to restart engine, made no attempt to find a safe landing spot, even though there were multiple landing areas in easy gliding distance, jumped out of the plane with a selfie stick, which is not normal behavior during a crisis. And seven, made his way to the wreck and took all the cameras, had the wreck disposed of before contacting the authorities, none of which deals with the fact that he had fire extinguishers strapped to his legs, since that's not technically illegal, or the deliberate crashing of his plane into a national reserve. Wow. Trevor, of course, is assuming we're all idiots and is in serious need of growing up, along with being a tad less elfish. Of course, he likely got bigger issues since deliberately crashing a plane into a national reserve tends to get you in a huge amount of trouble. I believe his lawyers told him to shut the hell up. If he's smart, he'll listen to that advice for once. Although, given his behavior, the smart part questionable. Wow. Um, Interesting. So that guy really broke it down though there in that comment. So as a result of this, he is facing some charges, which I pulled up the website, the Department of Justice, from the Central District of California. Let's see exactly what charges they're fixing to hit him with. All right, let's check it out. Santa Barbara County man who deliberately crashed airplane for YouTube video admits to obstructing federal investigation. So another piece of this puzzle is that when you're dealing with in the airspace, it's the federal, you're dealing with the Federal Aviation Administration. Just in the title, right? So there's got to be a whole investigation as to why it crashed, what caused the engine malfunction. You know, your insurance has to get involved if you have insurance on the plane. There's a whole slew of things that need to happen that I don't think this guy thought about when he did this for the clout, right? So let's get back to it. Los Angeles, a YouTuber pilot has agreed to plead guilty to a felony charge for obstructing a federal investigation by deliberately destroying the wreckage of an airplane that he intentionally crashed in Santa Barbara County to gain online views. Unreal. Trevor Daniel Jacob, 29, of Lompoc, agreed to plead guilty to one count of destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation, a crime that carries a statutory maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. So he is going to spend 20 years of his life potentially. I mean, he's pleading guilty, so I'm wondering if they bargained it down, but potentially 20 years in federal prison. The one count information charging Jacob were filed Wednesday, United States District Court in LA. He's expected to make his initial court appearance in the coming weeks. According to his plea agreement, Jacob is an experienced pilot and skydiver who had secured a sponsorship from a company that sold various products, including a wallet. Pursuant to the sponsorship deal, Jacob agreed to promote the company's wallet in a YouTube video that he would post. So I get it, you know, for those bigger YouTubers out there, you get sponsorship deals all the time. Um, you know, and how you choose to promote it, I'm assuming you have some type of guidelines, but really the creative piece they leave up to you. So to me, this is just such an extreme jump to promote a wallet, which we didn't even get to the rest of it. It's a 12-minute video. I'm not watching all of it, but that's such an extreme thing to promote a product. Yeah, I don't know, what did they promise him? They were going to buy him a better airplane or something like that. Like, I'm pretty sure that the company that was sponsoring him for this wallet did not instruct him to crash his plane. That's just, I think he went out of his way on his own to do it. Let's get back to it. Hold on, see if you guys can see it. There we go. November 24th, 2021, Jacob took off in his airplane from Lompoc. I'm probably saying it wrong, Lompoc or Lompoc City Airport on a solo flight purportedly destined for Mammoth Lakes. Jacob did not intend to reach his destination, but instead planned to eject from his aircraft during the flight and video himself parachuting to the ground and his airplane as it descended and crashed, he admitted in plea agreement. Prior to taking off, he mounted several video cameras on different parts of the plane and equipped himself with a parachute. Video camera and selfie stick. Approximately 35 minutes after taking off while flying above Los Padres National Forest near Santa Maria, Jacob ejected from the airplane and videoed himself parachuting to the ground. So he did exactly what he planned to do. Let's see. After parachuting to the ground, Jacob hiked to the location of the wreck, recovered the data containing the video recording of his flight and the crash of the airplane. Because if you guys noticed in the video itself, it cuts around quite a bit. Like it doesn't show anything on the dashboard of the plane. I call it the dashboard. It's probably not the right term, right? But it doesn't show anything that's going on with the dashboard of the plane. It doesn't show his instruments, like what actually caused the malfunction. He probably cut that out purposely so that you would just think it just trust me, it went bad kind of deal. um but he found the wreck, recovered the video of the airplane. On November 26, 2021, he informed the National Transportation Safety Board about the plane crash. The NTSB launched an investigation to the crash on or about the same day. Jacob that he was responsible for. They told him that he was responsible for preserving the wreckage so the agency could examine it. Jacob agreed to determine the crash location and provide both the coordinates of the downed plane and videos of the crash to NTSB. 3 days later, the Federal Aviation Administration launched its own investigation into the plane crash. So here's the deal. He waited 2 days to actually report the crash to the proper authorities, which again, that's another sus thing in this situation. In the weeks following the plane crash, Jacob lied to investigators that he did not know the wreck's location, according to the plea agreement. In fact, on December 10th, 2021, Jacob and a friend flew by helicopter to the wreck site. They used straps to secure the wreckage, which the helicopter lifted and carried to Rancho Sisquoc in Santa Barbara County, where it was loaded into the trailer attached to Jacob's pickup truck. Jacob drove the wreckage to Lompoc City Airport and unloaded it in a hangar. He then cut up and destroyed the airplane wreckage, and over the course of a few days, deposited the detached parts of the wrecked airplane in the trash bins at the airport and elsewhere, which he admitted in his plea agreement was done with the intent to obstruct federal authorities from investigating the November 24th plane crash. Wow, he went to great lengths to cover up this crime. He went to great lengths, but still, like something like this is really hard to cover up, especially if you're trying to be legit on one end and then shady on the back end. You have to submit your flight logs and everything. You got to preserve the wreckage because they have to understand what actually went on. It's the same with like any type of investigation, right? Like say your house burnt down, firefighters are coming out to investigate the cause of the fire. They're going to see what's going on. They're going to find out if an accelerant was used. They're going to find out if it was electrical fire, if something malfunctioned the cause of the fire. The whole purpose is to get to the root cause of what actually started the event. And it's a little suspicious when the scene is cleaned up before the proper authorities have a chance to do it, right? So he further admitted he lied to federal investigators when he submitted an aircraft accident incident report that falsely indicated that the aircraft experienced a full loss of power approximately 35 minutes after takeoff. Jacob also lied to an FAA aviation safety inspector when he said the airplane's engine had quit. And because he could not identify any safe landing options, he had parachuted out of the plane, and they revoked his license last year in April. The United States Department of Transportation Office of Inspector General investigated this matter. The NTSB and FAA provided substantial assistance. Wow. So as a result, each of those one count charges that he's facing could potentially get him 20 years apiece. Because I was trying to figure out well, I know the destruction, alteration, or falsification of records, that by itself holds a 20-year fine. But I had to look at the United States Code. This is, you got to do some digging to find this stuff. But I specifically found destruction of aircraft or aircraft facilities. So the way you read it, it has like section A. So whoever willfully does anything in 1 through 8, or B, anything 1 through 4, or C, and then it has the charges on the back end, or actually the charges are on that paragraph. So it's anything in A or B, and you combine that with what happened in 4, shall be fined under this title or in prison not more than 20 years or both. There's jurisdiction over an offense under the subsection if a national of the United States was on board or would have been on board the aircraft. An offender is a national of the United States, or an offender is afterwards found in the United States. So, in other words, it's not looking good for Buddy. I think potentially, if he gets hit with destruction of alteration or falsification of records in federal investigation and bankruptcy, that's 20 years by itself. And then the other one we looked at is 20 years. So he could face up to a maximum of 40 years for this stunt just to make a few bucks. Which, again, that leads back to my original question. Like, how far are people willing to go for the money? How far people are willing to go for the clout? Because, yeah, he probably, I don't know how well the sponsor paid him. I don't know how much money he made off YouTube. Granted, with his following, he probably did pretty well. Um, is it worth 40 years of your time, sir? So, it'll be interesting to see what is the actual outcome of this case. I'll probably just provide a little update on the page, but um, the juice ain't worth the squeeze to me, y'all. Just outside looking in, I wouldn't be able to participate in something like that. Sponsorships, eventually, I'm hoping I get some, right? To help fund. It's another source of income. Once you reach a certain level, you're generating on YouTube, you're generating with sponsors, merch, all that type of stuff. Um, I wouldn't be one to perform crazy antics just to sell a product. I mean, he did all that for a wallet, allegedly. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thanks for tapping in with me. Thanks for giving me your time. Subscribe if you're new over here. And we'll see y'all on the next one. This was a quick one. Until then, peace.